Now that we understand what a file type and what a template is, let's talk about how to customize templates. By default, when you load SolidWorks, when you select your units, that's going to be the set of templates. You're going to get a part, you're going to get an assembly, and you're going to get a drawing. Now, these are all very good starting points, but in most cases, you're going to want to create some customs. So let's start by creating a new part. And inside here, we want to make some adjustments. The first thing we're going to do is go down to the bottom right-hand corner of our window and select inch pounds seconds. And then we want to go to Save As, select the file type as part template. Now this will automatically take you into your window, but you'll notice that I currently have SolidWorks 2015 templates open. I'm going to go into my SolidWorks folder, 2016, and down to templates. Now we're going to save this as part underscore inch. I'm also going to go back down, select millimeters. I'm going to do Save As again, already on part templates, and I'm going to select millimeters. Now let's go into our properties. So if we go into File Properties, you notice that we have things like Custom, we have Configuration Specific, and we have Summary. Now these will all stick with your file. Now these are file specific. So for instance, if you always wanted to have custom property named part number. Now, of course, you do have a drop-down of default ones, such as part NO that you can have. And let's say you wanted to default as 1, 2, 3, 4 X's dash 2 X's, 3 X's. So that way it lets whatever the user is know that they need to enter a default part number. We're going to say OK. We're going to say Save As. Again, it's on part template, millimeter, and let's just say underscore part number. Let's close this file out and let's create a new file. So now you see that we have templates and we have tutorials, and it's not showing up here. So let's go ahead into our file properties, and you'll notice that we have system options for default templates. We can select default templates. We can also select file locations for doc templates. So currently, SolidWorks 2015 templates is in there, but there's no one for SolidWorks 2016. Now this is a common problem whenever you're upgrading an old version of SolidWorks to a new version. So if you're coming from SolidWorks 2015 or older and just now installing SolidWorks 2016, you might have this problem. If you're installing SolidWorks 2016 for the first time, this should not be a problem. But let's go ahead and add a new template. So we're going to want to go into SolidWorks 2016 and into templates, OK. So you notice that now we have a folder for 2016 templates, 2015 templates, and another default for the tutorial files. Now I should note that this does not have to be located inside of the SolidWorks folder. You can place this folder anywhere and create a custom set of templates that are completely separate from your SolidWorks install. And that's a very good idea because oftentimes when you create a new install, you're not going to have access to files if they've been deleted or moved or whatever the case. But now you'll notice that our default templates has part inch, part millimeter, and now we have a part that says part millimeter part number. Let's create a new file here. Now if we go up into our custom properties, you'll notice that it has a property named part number, and it says it's a text type, and it gives you what it's looking for in terms of a part number. So let's go ahead and modify this. Let's say that we needed 0001 11 555, and that was the part number. So now when we save this as a new part, the custom property associated with it is going to be part number, and that can trickle down into your assembly or into your drawings. Now that's not the only thing that we can change. If we go back into our properties, system options, these are things that are really applicable to SolidWorks in general. If we go to document properties, these are things that are associated with this specific file that we're dealing with. So for instance, if you wanted to modify properties for dimensions, or if you wanted to modify things such as the model display or the image quality, for instance, we wanted a high resolution file. We can modify these values, save them, and then whenever we save our template, let's go ahead and do another save as. And let's go ahead and call this part number high res. Close it out. We'll start a new file. And now we have part number and part number high res. Now inside here, we go again to custom properties. Now we have that part number because we entered that before we saved our template. If we go into our system properties, down to image quality, you'll notice that these sliders are all the way to the right, or by default, they'll be right in the middle. So this is a great way for you to do things like customize any of these settings inside of here. You can do things like rename planes, you can add features, you can add multiple configurations, anything that you need to do as sort of a template for yourself or your company that you want to use over and over again. Create that file, save it as a template, and then you can pass it along. So one thing you'll notice is that we didn't have an assembly. Currently only have parts because I relocated where I was looking for my templates. But we still have our tutorial templates. So let's go ahead and open an assembly. We're not going to create one, but we want to come in and we want to make an assembly with inch units. We're going to save it as the template. So we want to select assembly template, and we're going to say assembly underscore inch. We want to go ahead and modify these units to be metric. Again, we're going to save it as, make sure it's assembly template, millimeter, and say OK. And now let's create a new drawing. Now, when you create a drawing, there are several different things that you need to understand. You're going to have a title block, and you're going to have a lot of information that's automatically populated here. Now, because this is a basics course where we're not really going to be covering tons of advanced topics, especially in the drawings, we're not going to cover how to create your own title block. We're not going to create any of these custom settings inside of a drawing file. But really what I want you to understand is that when we save this, again, it has inches, metric, other units associated with it. It has custom properties associated with it. And anything that you see on the screen in terms of the size of your drawing or the properties of your drawing, these are all going to convey to whatever template that you're saving. So we're simply going to go to Save As, make sure that we're saving it as a drawing template, and we're going to say drawing underscore millimeter for metric. So now when we close this out, we'll close out all these files. We create a new file from our templates. We now have part inch, part millimeter with a part number high res, assembly inch, assembly metric, drawing metric. So now that we have all of these, we want to make sure that we have easy access to all these default templates. Now, in most cases, if you're dealing with a reseller, or if you're dealing with another company, a lot of times they will already have these templates that they want to use. Now, it's a good idea that every once in a while, you take a look at these templates and you update them, because as versions go on inside SolidWorks, there might be new options or new features that you can add or manipulate that might help you along the way. But now you know how to create your own custom templates.